Walker, and I'm with the Joyride Show, and this is Wendy Hutchinson, and she is the Marconics practitioner that you guys all know about. And we're doing a little side project. We are talking about, I don't know, just different things that come up, such as frequency. So we just thought we'd pop in and talk about it and what it is and how to raise it. And actually, there's a lot more to this. Wendy and I were talking the other day. Actually, I'm going to let you introduce the subject.
Well, we were talking the other day, just shooting the shit like we always do, and we were talking about how times are changing, but it seems like people are very tied to their traditional spiritual practices, their modalities that have been working for them in the past, but maybe aren't exactly open to exploring new ideas and new spiritual practices as their frequency rises.
So to back up a bit, your Marconics is your jam. I mean, it is.
It is definitely my jam.
It's my jam too. It's really, really cool. But it harnessed a new energy that came to the earth, right? I mean,
Yes.
So really, it's like running old software on your computer when you have updates available.
Exactly it.
Boom.
So upgrades are available through Marconics. Why? Because it's a full spectrum energy.
Mm-hmm.
We're bringing down energetic and tapping into energetic frequency, and everything is frequency. All beings hold an energetic signature and frequency. All things hold an energetic frequency and signature. But we are tapping into a multi-dimensional full spectrum frequency.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tapping into the fifth and seventh dimensional energies and bringing that down its full spectrum, whereas anything prior to 2012 that has been practiced and established is tapping into the third dimensional energies.
So do you think that you would have some people that might argue that point?
Well, I think the truth is those energies worked beautifully when our body template was a 3D body template.
But what if let's say I'm new to this path, I'm waking up, I'm not quite, honestly, I'm tired. I know that it is we categorize, our brains need to categorize things, and talking about the 3D, the 5D, the 4D, and it, to me, it's so overdone, but it tells us where, what we're talking about. So if someone is still somewhat in that 3D imprint or that 3D vibration,
this is perfect for them. All of the modalities that have been practiced, that have served humanity well, will work beautifully on people who remain in that bandwidth.
So
there will always be a place for them to do and practice the work in those modalities, because there will always be people. Not everybody's ascending, and not everyone's, not everyone's contract or path is to go higher.
But isn't it interesting though, if you're open to having a Reiki, or, I mean, just to give an example, because so many of us know and have experienced that incredible healing.
Sure.
If you're open to it, it seems like you're probably on the path to ascension.
You are on some sort of path, and I think the difference between our modalities is a Reiki is working with your physical body. It's a physical healing modality. We are an ascension modality. We're working with energy. We're working with your frequency. We're working to align you with the unified field.
And what is the unified field?
Okay, the unified field is it's the three axiotonal energetic fields that we have in our lives. It's our auric field.
Okay, thank you.
I'm getting there. Axiotonal A is our personal auric field. That's our auric energy around our individual being. Axiotonal B is the auric field or the crystalline grid around the earth. Axiotonal C is the energy of the universe. So when we go full spectrum, we're pulling down and aligning you with all three. We're pulling down energy within the universal matrix, multidimensional full spectrum energy, going above 5 to 7 and sometimes beyond.
Oh, and that's when it gets really, really fun and
Right.
really, really cool.
Depending on what the individual can hold frequency-wise.
That's how, okay, let's back up again too. So when you say frequency, I know that you say everybody, everything, every thought, every emotion has a frequency.
That's true.
So what is the difference between a vibration and a frequency?
Vibration and frequency are the same.
Okay, so they're interchangeable.
Yeah. And they're different, everybody's at a different frequency. Sometimes people are bouncing between a 3D frequency and 5D. Not everyone is anchored fully in one frequency or another.
Mm-hmm.
As we're ascending, it's a process. So people can touch higher dimensional frequencies as they're meditating or as they're doing their spiritual work. But then they come home and everyday life happens and the kids get sick or the dog throws up on your couch or, you know, you're like right back
You saw
down.
that on my Facebook,
So,
huh?
yeah. So holding the frequency is a challenge. So people are moving up and down and people are ascending and becoming better versions of themselves. But holding that frequency is the key, because as you ascend, and if you can hold the higher vibrational frequencies, you're going to be inviting in experiences and realities that align with that. So your vibrational frequency is going to dictate your reality. So instead of, I'm going to just use this as an example, what we're usually doing is we're going out.
Right.
We're seeking outward solutions. Okay, so we're going outward and we're going to we're going to the mall and we're buying something because that's going to make us feel better, right? Or we're going to follow a guru because their words are going to make us feel better or resonate or whatever. We're going to just do things, we're going to get involved in careers because the income and status makes us like we are more worthy and we feel better.
Right.
Right? So we're always seeking outward, but what I really want to encourage people to do is it's not an out to in process, it's from in to out. So your way of being, who you are, the vibrational frequency you're emitting with your presence is what's going to drive your reality.
So I'm so fortunate that I get to be your friend, and you've been beating that in my head, and it's no, what do you think? No, do you really need the book? No, what do you think, Kerry? And we go back and forth, but and I've used this example before one time. Okay, so I have this grocery store I love, and Central Market, shout out, it's amazing. The people are amazing. And I had this, for some reason, this just axe to grind with Whole Foods. I don't know what it was. Everybody there is lovely. But I pulled into the parking lot. This is the one not too far from your house. No, it's the other one on
I know which one
Kirby.
you're talking about.
I pulled into the parking lot. I was talking to my mom on the phone, and this guy comes by. Our windows are down. Nice day. Get off the fucking phone. And it was like, but every time I went, I was grumpy. And so I thought, okay, what am I putting out?
Right.
So how do we emit that? Do you think it comes from our heart, or how do we?
I think a lot of times it's just subconscious. I think there's a lack of awareness, and people aren't fully in touch with their energetic body, you know. And what happens is, because we're so focused outward, we're not really connected and in alignment on the inside. So we don't even have an awareness that our vibration is off until we have an experience like that, or we're pissed off driving and we're flipping somebody off, or we're getting sick because we're run down because we've been putting everything first instead of ourselves and our alignments and our truth, and we're not honoring who we are and what we need physically. That's a huge one.
It really is.
Put the oxygen mask on you first,
Right.
so you're able to serve the people around you.
Well, the healer needs to be healed before he can heal. And then sometimes in the process, I think that healing happens. But I know, and this is the way I describe Mark marconics, because it is energy and it is frequency and it is, to me, it all ties in, and that's why this was just such a natural show to do.
Yeah.
Is that the more you expand, the more your higher self can come in.
Yes.
And so the higher,
Exactly.
so let's say if it, on a scale of 1 to 10, if I'm sometimes a 2, sometimes an 8, sometimes, and if I can knock off that 2, and then if I'm a, sometimes an 8, sometimes a 4, sometimes an 8, and hopefully that gets, that bouncing gets back.
It's a process.
Oh, I fail miserably a lot of days.
Well, we're all human, we forget about that too. But I want to encourage people to, it's not complicated. It's about being the best version of you, whatever that looks like. And today's best version of you could be a lot better than yesterday's version of you. It's just getting up every day and being intentional about showing up to the best of your ability that day.
It sounds so simple, but
it really is. I mean, people overcomplicate this whole spiritual ascension thing as if there's all of this work involved, and there is internal work involved. We have to, at some point, examine what's going on inside.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
People tend to avoid that pain like crazy because nobody wants to feel suffering.
Right, which is natural.
It is natural, but the more you avoid it, the more you create resistance, the harder the journey is going to be.
Well, it manifests. So
it's going to take you down, man.
What?
It's going to take you
Bottom
down.
line is, you're going down.
You are if you don't deal with your stuff.
Well, and that's where cancer comes in, illness. That's where, and it's interesting because they sit and they say, stop, and then you need to look at this, and then they're like, okay, go sit her in timeout.
Now we're going to lay you out, and you're going to have to really
choice.
think about your life and what's really important, because all the things that we think are important, maybe sometimes aren't.
Right.
Maybe what's really important is that you love your family and you spend time together.
And you do it presently. Okay.
And yes, you're present to your life.
So let's say and I think a lot of us have had this experience, I'm somewhere, let's say I'm at a concert or I'm at the mall, and I'm in a crowd, and all of a sudden I just feel that anxiety, or I just feel, or I hit that vibrational place of ick. What do you do? I mean, so what would you have done in the 3D with a 3D frequency versus what you would do in a higher frequency? Give us examples.
For me personally,
well, just in general, like what would you recommend that I do?
I think what's really important is people practice energetic protection. That people are aware that their energetic field is precious, and you need to be very careful about what you're bringing into your field.
I only let you do work on me. That's it.
Oh, thank you.
No, you're welcome. I don't let other people do work on me. Yeah.
I mean, I think you need to be really mindful of what you're allowing in. Are you allowing in toxic people? Are you allowing in really negative self-taught in your thoughts? Are you feeding your body a lot of junk?
Low vibration or no vibration.
Because that affects your physical being, it affects your mental state, it affects the decisions you're making. We need to be really mindful of what we are inviting in, and if our goal is to elevate and ascend and be better versions of ourselves, we need to invite higher vibrational things in.
I agree.
So if you're going to a concert, that's totally fine, but be mindful of what kind of environment are you going in. Are you going into a concert where everyone's going to be wasted?
Megadeth. I'm talking the Megadeth.
And the lyrics are really harsh. Oof. And I mean, that's a certain vibrational place you're choosing to go, which is fine if that resonates with you. I mean, everybody should be exactly where they are. You're never in the wrong place. And I'm just asking you to honor the things that feel like they're in alignment with you. Well,
and to start, I think for a long time, even noticing the difference, it's I know I rock along. I often say, I don't know what I'd look like. I don't know what I I don't know how I sound. I don't know. I remember the first time my mother had to do this deal for school. She was in school, and she's like, "Okay, I need to record you." And I just remember thinking, "That's me." I had no idea, you know,
You didn't have a concept of what you were
I still
on the
don't.
outside.
I mean, I still don't. I mean, yeah, I look in the mirror and I like to have my hair done and, you know, eyebrows done, but I don't know. Anyway, so it is, so to really do the self-discovery and to know, to be able to discern the difference between and whoa,
Right.
and to realize it's not
And
you
it's
having a bad
basically
day.
a feeling. It's a
It
feeling
is.
inside. You don't have to be an energy master. You know, it's
You feel
like,
good? You feel
does
bad?
this feel good to you or does this feel bad to you? Is the way someone's treating you, does that feel good to you?
Mhm.
Then that's great. But if you walk away from an encounter with somebody and every time you're with that person you feel awful, you might want to re-examine that relationship.
Flag. Well, that's exactly right. And I think that
It's about really also trusting yourself. Because people know, you know things really deep down, but you want to put your blinders on or you want to make excuses. As if you're having to make excuses about something, it's probably not resonating with you.
touch the mouse pad. But sometimes I think, and I know, I realize I'm sitting here
I'm
playing
just
the
saying that,
antagonist.
that's my opinion.
Well, but sometimes there are distortions in our field that need to be looked at. And I think discerning between a distortion, because I can convince I'm 47 years old, and clockwork, every month, I get pissy, I get mad, I'm just like, I can't believe. Oh, wait a minute. I was like, how long has this been going on? And it's
Still
a
surprised
distortion.
by it.
I know, right? I'll
Right.
be in menopause and I'll probably miss it. But it is, that may have been a little too much. Just saying. No, it's we half of us on this planet go through that. But
That's true.
it's discerning the difference between a distortion and reality, because the exact same thing can piss me off that at a different time I really don't care.
I think a lot of it's perspective.
I think that's all of it.
Always a different way to look at something.
Yeah, but
And
that's a slippery
so-
slope though, because if there's a different way to look at something, that's my 20s, that's what I did. I could always empathize and get on the other side of it. It's like, well, yeah, but when he was a kid, his dad wasn't very nice. And, you know, and you lower your bar because you feel sorry for that person. And so that,
What we need to realize is everybody's making a choice. Every decision we make in our lives, everything we bring into our lives, everything we're experiencing is a choice that is being made. Whether that's a conscious choice or a subconscious choice. Your energetic signature and frequency is bringing to you what's happening. And if you're struggling, if you're like, I don't know why I'm going through this, I don't know why this is happening to me, you're making a choice to be in a disempowered place. That is a choice. When you're asking those questions, the universe is going to answer you.
with what?
It's with all the answers. Well, you were born in a disadvantaged place. The color of your skin, you're dark, and so that's creating this experience. Or you are disadvantaged in some way. There's always going to be a story. If you ask
There's a reason.
if you ask a disempowering question, you're going to get an answer that validates how you're feeling. And so why do we want to continue and perpetuate that disempowered feeling? The goal is to take back your power. It's to be empowered. And I was watching this Oprah interview with Michael Beckwith. I was telling
love
you
him.
about this morning, and that's what he was talking about. You need to ask empowered questions. You need to open your mind to possibility. Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? You ask, what do I need to move through this? What is possible for me?
Or a big one for me is, why is this happening for me?
Yes.
What am I,
what am I gaining from this?
How did I attract this?
Yes.
You know, how did I attract this? And I'm telling you, going from that feeling of the other shoe's gonna drop any moment, things are too good, and then you expect the other shoe to drop, versus, oh my God, this is great, and I've helped create this, and that is something that we talk about often on the show
That's a
with
huge
Tiffany.
aspect of ascension, and raising your vibrational frequency is the realization that the struggle is the catalyst. It's the catalyst for change. It's to propel you into the higher bandwidth by allowing you to see something within you that needs to be addressed and approaching it from a higher perspective. Choosing to take the higher road. Recognizing, gosh, I've got work to do around jealousy. Mm-hmm. Every time I am with this person, I'm triggered and I'm pissed off. That's not about the other person.
It's about you.
There's something going on inside of you that's telling you that you're somehow less than. And we are so good about telling ourselves that story.
That reminds me of Pretty Woman. When she's laying there, I haven't seen that in years, but I remember that one scene, and she said, why is it that 10 people can tell you look wonderful, one person will tell you you look like shit, and you go home and change?
Exactly.
Why do we hold on to that? But I think, again, I wrote this thing yesterday, and I said it's interesting when I started looking around at the fear makers, and it was my television, and how when you listen to TV long enough, there are these subtle, you know, and every other commercial is a commercial on drugs,
programming,
illness, drugs, illness. Well, eventually, it's like, when am I getting cancer? Sure enough, I fucking got cancer. Yeah, I mean, it is, you know,
Yeah.
But it was the biggest wake up. It was beautiful, and
so there's always a gift somewhere, even though it's hard. If it's hard to see when you're going through it, and sometimes time gives you perspective too.
Time's a big one.
Yeah,
time's a big bomb.
But the point is, when we do the inner work, and when we realize that things aren't just randomly happening to us, they're allowing us and giving us the opportunity to look at something in ourselves that's reflecting something that maybe we need to address.
Mm-hmm.
It could be judgment. My thing recently was like recognizing how often without even realizing it, I'm judging something.
Either good or bad, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so that's something I'm working on right now, is accepting everybody for where they are on their path. It might not look like the great path to me. I might be critical of it. That's judgment, you know. I need to know that everybody is working on their own life. Mm-hmm. It might not look like it. It might look like a shitstorm. Quite frankly, you know.
Yeah.
But we have to honor where people are because they are following the path that's going to bring them the lessons that they need to learn.
That's exactly right. And I think that's exactly right. And I don't know about you, but I know there are so many people that just want to be heard. I mean, just want those blocks to go, those frequency blocks, or seen.
People want to be seen.
Yes, and that is okay. So coming back to frequency.
Yes.
Which that was beautiful, by the way. And thank you for being honest about that, because that is a really, really big one. And I noticed I always had a comment about everybody. Used to be, maybe not always so
getting
great.
better about it, but boy, it's work.
But then it became good. But then I thought,
good.
why do I have to comment on everybody? Why do I have to say, oh, she has pretty hair?
You know, it takes the same amount of energy to be positive as it does negative.
Ah, but you gain the rewards from being positive.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
know?
it's the same amount of energy, so let's elevate and lift each other and also honor ourselves for who we are, for the beautiful beings we are. We're so hard on ourselves.
That's such a high frequency thing to say. No, I am. So some things to ask when you are not, when you're feeling that feeling, which I get sometimes. I just want to just
resistance.
I guess that's what that is. That would be a good name for that. Is just to stop, pause, look, go into it. These are questions. So go into it, ask the question, where did I start feeling this? Where do I feel it in my body? Why do I feel it? And kind of name it, right? And then hopefully by acknowledging it, you're giving it permission to pass through and not resist. Also, I think by resisting it, because sometimes things are there to tell you something, you know.
Definitely.
And so how would you, getting back to my original idea, how would you clear it? Like, how do you clear it? How would you clear a space? How would you clear yourself if you realize that this is not my frequency I'm holding?
The biggest way to clear anything is to be empowered. when you're standing in your power, your energy and energetic field is something that you have full control over. You allow things to come into your field when you're in a lower vibrational place. When you are
You're drawing it in.
partying super hard, you're not honoring your body, you're beating yourself up constantly with negative self-talk. You're anytime you're disempowered, anytime you're in a victim mode, you're lowering your vibrational frequency, and that's inviting things in. You're not mindful of where you're spending your time. Are you out in nature? That's super high vibrational. Get outside, get in nature, walk your dog, go to a park.
Pet a cat.
Yeah.
No, I know.
When you're connecting to nature, that's a really high vibrational experience. If all of your socializing is in bars, you're just going to be in a lower vibrational environment.
Why is that?
I think when you impair yourself and when you're drinking heavily, you are lowering your vibrational frequency. That's a fact. It's not a judgment, that is a fact. And I'm talking about getting wasted. I'm not talking about one beer. You know, I'm talking about you're out like partying pretty hard. You're lowering your vibrational and energetic signature, and that can invite things to attach or come in.
So when that happens, I know that feeling. I worked at a bar in my 20s, and I ended up not going back. I mean, I had a dream about a dead body on a crane. It was next to a whorehouse. So there were several, and I was half the weight I am now, and it just frightened me. And I thought, I can't go back. I mean, I just can't go back to that. And
I think the biggest thing is to pay attention to your intuition and your nudges. If you're starting to feel icky, leave. Or when you're honoring yourself, when you're taking care of your physical body, you're getting sleep, you're hydrated, you're taking in good food, or at least eating something more than McDonald's every day, right?
Something that grows.
Higher, food has vibration too.
Yeah.
But everybody needs something different, so not everybody needs to be vegan. I know all the vegans out there are raising their hand going, we beg to differ, but not everybody needs to be vegan, in my opinion. I think everybody's here with a different purpose, a different energetic signature and frequency, and that requires a different kind of diet. I'm saying do what feels right and aligned for you.
Right.
And honor that and follow that, and don't be swayed by the latest fad, diet, trend, or peer pressure. The key about frequency is to always come back into alignment. Everything in your life is either going to be in alignment with who you are or not in alignment with who you are, and you need to have the strength to honor that.
That's beautiful. I think that's a great place to stop. I mean, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for Frequency 101 for going into this again.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for having me. I mean, these are little tutors. No, I can't. Anyway, so guys, I hope you got something from this. It's they're great reminders of how to stay higher. So let us know what you think. Drop some comments down below and
Definitely.
tell us, because we like to learn too.
And know that you always have another opportunity. If today you were really off base and you were going through drive-through because you were short on time, don't beat yourself up about it. Get up the next day, it's another opportunity, just always honor your truth in yourself, and that is how you will elevate.
Well, it's feeling good. Do what feels good.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you
pretty
so
simple.
much.
Yeah, thanks guys. Stay tuned to see what we'll talk about next. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.